Welcome back, chess lovers. In today's video, we're unlocking the power of the Vienna Opening, a sharp and stylish weapon for white that's packed with dangerous traps and tactical tricks. Whether you're looking to crush your opponents fast or outsmart them with clever moves, this video will show you the top Vienna traps that can win you games in no time. Let's dive in and take your opening game to the next level. A knight jumps, a queen sacrifices, and suddenly, checkmate in 8 moves. This is the Rosen trap, a vicious line in the Vienna game that ends games before they even begin. It all begins with pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to f6. The Vienna game takes shape. Now we play. Bishop to c4, knight takes e4, black grabs a free pawn but falls into a trap. Here comes the brilliant tactical shot. Bishop takes f7, check, forcing the king out with king takes f7. Then the knight takes e4, and the pressure builds. Black continues with knight to c6, developing and thinking they're safe. But then, boom, queen to f3, check. Black retreats the king to g8, and now comes the setup. Knight to g5, a stealthy knight eyeing key squares. Queen takes g5, and black walks into the final blow. We deliver queen to d5, checkmate. A queen quietly ends it all. So next time you play the Vienna game, remember this trap and get ready to crush games in just 8 moves. Our next savage Vienna Gambit trap is one of the wildest you'll ever see. We have pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to f6, pawn to f4. The Vienna Gambit is on the board. Black accepts the gambit, pawn takes f4, and now we strike with pawn to e5, attacking the knight. Knight retreats to g8, passive play, and we take over with knight to f3. Black plays pawn to d6, opening his light-squared bishop. We play pawn to d4, gaining full center. Pawn takes e5. Instead of recapturing the pawn, we play a sneaky move. Bishop to b5, check. This is where it begins. Black blocks the check with pawn to c6. Bishop to c4, calm and deadly. Black gets greedy. Pawn takes d4. We are 3 pawns down, and the black d4 pawn is attacking our knight. Still, we ignore the threat and calmly play bishop takes f4. Most black players greedily capture our knight with pawn takes c3. However, it's a big mistake. We punish immediately with a brilliant move. Bishop takes f7, check. If the king takes the bishop, we will win black's queen. So black plays king to e7. How would you continue here? If you are thinking of bishop to g5, check. It does not work. Black can simply block with knight to f6. Here, the correct and only good move is queen to e2, check, dragging the king out. If black plays or bishop to e6, then queen takes e6 style would be checkmate. And if he goes king to f6, then bishop to g5, check would win the black queen. So he plays king takes f7. We play another stunning move, knight to e5, check. If black plays king to e6, e7, or e8, then we'll win the queen with knight takes c6, a discovered check. So black plays king takes f6. We play bishop to g5, check. If the king moves to e6, we win the queen. So black captures with king takes g5. We deliver the knockout punch with knight to f7, check, with a family fork on king, queen, and rook. In a few moves, we will checkmate black. Let us check out the next trap, the bishop decoy trap, a masterpiece in the Vienna Opening. We have pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to c6. We develop bishop to c4. Black plays pawn to d6, reinforcing e5 and opening the light-squared bishop. We strike in the center with pawn to f4. After pawn takes f4, we develop knight to f3. Black plays bishop to g4, pinning our knight. We castle short. Black puts more pressure on our pinned knight with knight to e5. We play the astonishing move, knight takes e5, offering a queen sacrifice. If black doesn't accept the sacrifice and plays pawn takes e5, then after queen takes g4, we are fine. However, the majority of black players accept the queen sacrifice. But suddenly, boom, we stun the opponent with bishop takes f7, check. After black plays the only move, king to e7, we deliver a stunning checkmate in 9 moves with knight to d5. Hope you are excited to catch your opponents with this brilliant trap. Our next trap is an outstanding tactic in the Vienna Gambit, giving white a winning position in just 9 moves. We have pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to f6, pawn to f4, pawn takes f4, pawn to e5. As the black knight has no safe squares and retreating to g8 looks passive, many opponents play queen to e7, pinning our e5 pawn. We unpin with queen to e2, renewing the threat to the f6 knight. Black has to retreat to g8. We develop knight to f3. We are already much better. Black tries to challenge our e5 pawn with pawn to d6, but it's a blunder. We play knight to d5, attacking the black queen. If queen to e6, then knight takes c7, check, wins the queen. So black plays queen to d7. We play a fantastic move, pawn takes d6, check. After king to d8, pawn takes c7, check. Black has to give up the queen. We will soon bring home the victory due to huge material advantage and completely exposed king. Now let us reveal how to crush black if he plays knight to c6 instead of pawn to d6 in the above line. After pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to f6, pawn to f4, pawn takes f4, pawn to e5, queen to e7, queen to e2, knight to g8, knight to f3. Black plays knight to c6, pressuring e5. We play pawn to d4, black plays pawn to d6. Again, we play knight to d5, attacking the queen. After queen to d8, we play knight takes c7, check. After queen takes c7, we deliver a knockout punch. Pawn takes d6, check. We will win the queen next move and the game pretty soon. The next trap is a very practical and effective chess tactic. We have pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, bishop to c5. We play queen to g4, attacking g7. Majority opponents play queen to f6, defending g7 and attacking f2. We ignore f2 and play knight to d5, attacking the queen. After queen takes f2, check. We play king to d1. Black defends g7 with king to f8. We attack the queen with knight to h3. Black plays queen to d4, attacking our bishop on c4. We play pawn to d3, defending the bishop. Black plays knight to f6, attacking our queen. We retreat with queen to f3. Now, most players play knight takes d5, exchanging our dangerous knight. However, we unleash deadly move pawn to c3. The queen is trapped. Many black players try knight takes c3, check, to save the queen. After pawn takes c3, queen takes c3. We unleash a killer blow. Queen takes f7, checkmate. In the above line, many opponents play pawn to g6 instead of king to f8. Let's check how to punish that. After pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, bishop to c5, queen to g4, queen to f6, knight to d5, queen takes f2, check, king to d1. As we are threatening g7 pawn and the h8 rook, many opponents play pawn to g6. Again, we play knight to h3, attacking the queen. After queen to d4, we play pawn to d3. Black plays pawn to d6, attacking our queen. We play a sensational move, knight takes c7, check. After king to d8, we play queen to h4, check. After king takes c7, we trap the queen with pawn to c3. Soon, we will win the queen in the game. If you enjoyed these Vienna opening traps and want more deadly lines to surprise your opponents, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an opening trick. Which trap was your favorite? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, in chess, it's not just about playing better. It's about thinking ahead. See you in the next video.